I am so pleased to welcome the New Vision's Scientific Research and World Health class of 2022. This includes Joshua Barasa from Shenendehowa High School, Lauren Bradley from Averill Park High School, Ava Farragon from Averill Park High School, Lily Gold from Ichabod Crane High School, Harley Horlicher from Greenville High School, Hannah Consul from Catskill High School, Max Lacasano from Troy High School, and Magdalena Lombardi from Averill Park High School. Last month, the students presented the results of their epidemiology studies. They're joining us today to talk about their research and their aspirations. To start, I want to welcome back their teacher, Miss Ruth Russell. She was, along with Tammy Borland, our first virtual staff interview almost 2 years ago. Hello, Ruth. Can you tell us more about this project? What did you ask students to do?
Oh, good. Well, hi, Gladys. Thank you so much for having us today, and thank you for having me again on Town Hall. It's a true honor. As you know, I teach the Scientific Research and World Health Program, and we look at really the role of medical research in human health and disease. The students look at cutting-edge technologies and look at genomics, RNA, which has been so much in the news and so important lately, emerging health conditions, looking at the environment and lifestyle concerns. But I think fundamentally, if I were to put it in a nutshell, the goal of the program is to help students form excellent habits of mind, and in doing so, try to learn to think like a scientific professional. What we do is we ask them to think about meaningful questions, formulate a hypothesis, and find or generate their own data to support their hypothesis. We do this within the context of 18 college credits, which is extraordinary, and they are amazing students. Within this context, they do two major projects. So what you're going to hear about today is their first project, which is an epidemiological study of their own choosing. So they examine their lives, what they've experienced. They think about what would be interesting, what's important to them as people, and they look at populations and risk factors and measurable health outcomes. They create their own hypothesis, and they test that hypothesis by doing a study. And then they write a 30-page research paper, and they present their findings at a scientific poster session, which we were honored to do last month, and which brought us here today. So what you're going to hear from the students, I guess, really would be brief synopses of their studies. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So I want to ask our students to tell us a little bit about the research in layman's terms and why you selected this topic. So let's start with Joshua.
I'm Joshua Barasa. I go to Shenendehowa. My project was on the Mediterranean diet and deep vein thrombosis. The Mediterranean diet is the preferred risk diet to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. And deep vein thrombosis is a condition in which someone has clots in the deep vein, and it is largely associated with cardiovascular disease and an unhealthy lifestyle. People who develop DVT will have long-term complications such as swelling, pain, or scaling. And I designed the study to see if the Mediterranean diet reduces the risk of developing DVT. The Mediterranean diet consists of oils, seafoods, many vegetables, fruits, and very little red meat. And using a survey and articles, data was collected to determine that there is a strong association between the Mediterranean diet and a lowered risk of DVT. And I was interested in this topic because cardiovascular disease is a major issue worldwide, and I wanted to look further into DVT.
Thank you. Lauren, tell us about your research.
Hi, thank you for having me. My study looked at the correlation between Catametal Anaflexus and an impacted quality of life. Catametal Anaflexus is a rare autoimmune condition that affects women 11 years old to over 45 years of age, and this condition revolves around the individual's menstrual cycle. Women with this condition experience cyclic allergic reactions. Very little is known about this condition, and the underlying mechanism is theorized to be progesterone or the progestoglands. This condition can be managed with various antihistamine medications and treated with menopause-inducing injections such as Zoloft and medical procedures such as a hysterectomy and oophorectomies. My research looked closely at many different aspects of this condition, including effective treatments, the time it took to receive a diagnosis, geographical location, diet, age of onset, and impact on quality of life. This collection of data was taken from 20 women diagnosed with this condition, and I have a personal collection to this condition, and it has made the research personally meaningful.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Ava, tell us about your research.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ava Farragon, and I go to Averill Park High School. I am in this program because I'm interested in healthcare, and thank you very much for having me. For my project, I looked at smoking behaviors as a risk factor for myocarditis in adult males. Myocarditis is inflammation of the heart muscle, and it is a rare condition that predominantly affects males. Scientists have researched myocarditis before, but there are several unknown questions regarding the potential risk factors that may result in a male to develop this condition. This study analyzed if there is an association between myocarditis and males who smoke cigarettes, marijuana, and/or inhale illegal drugs such as cocaine. New approaches to diagnose myocarditis are needed to improve therapeutic strategies to treat the disease. The data used in this study was collected through multiple peer-reviewed papers, and 5 case studies and a clinical trial support a stronger relationship between males who smoke marijuana and myocarditis. The data also revealed that males who smoke cigarettes are at a greater risk for developing this condition. I was also interested in this topic because cardiovascular disease runs in my family, and myocarditis falls under this category.
Thank you so much, Ava. Lily, tell us about your research.
Hello, I'm Lily Gould. I go to Ichabod Crane High School. So in my study, I was evaluating whether or not tick-borne co-infections with Lyme disease are risk factors for chronic Lyme disease. So my hypothesis was that yes, they are. Co-infections happen when there is more than one pathogen that infects a host at the same time. And with Lyme disease, some of these examples include Babesia and Bartonella. Chronic Lyme disease is when symptoms of Lyme disease are extended for greater than 6 months after the person has been treated with antibiotics. And it can take the form of nerve problems, severe fatigue, muscle pain, and a whole larger array of symptoms. And so through posting a survey to 6 different Facebook groups, and I got 340 responses, I found that the majority of people who have chronic Lyme disease also have these co-infections. And I concluded that co-infections are risk factors for chronic Lyme based on this study. I selected this topic because in this region of New York, it's a major public health problem, and many people in my family have gotten it as well.
Thank you so much. Harley.
Hello, thank you for having me. I researched fibromyalgia being a risk factor for rheumatoid arthritis in adult women. RA is an autoimmune disease that more predominantly affects the joints of the human body, whereas fibromyalgia affects the entire human body and causes widespread pain. Both have a higher prevalence in women ages 30 to 65. For this study, I conducted a meta-analysis and literature review. The data that was collected from the analysis concluded that yes, fibromyalgia is a risk factor for rheumatoid arthritis in adult women. And I chose these 2 diseases because my grandmother suffers from both.
Thank you so much, Harley. Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah Consul. I go to Catskill High School, and for my project, I looked at the genetics of male infertility. So I looked at different genetic factors that could have been involved with a male's infertility, such as chromosome abnormalities, Klinefelter syndrome, and microdeletions of the chromosome. So I did my study through papers and a small survey. And I did find out that there is a strong correlation between the two, but there isn't one that stuck out most. So many of the genetic causes were part of it. I picked my research because of my parents who suffered from infertility issues trying to have me and my brother.
Thank you so much. Max, tell us about your research.
Hello, thank you for having me. As mentioned, I'm Max Lachasano and I go to Troy High School. My EPI project was on the correlation between environmental hazards and the development of polycythemia vera, or PV. PV is a rare chronic blood cancer that affects only about 2.3 per 100,000 people per year. It is characterized by the overactive signaling of red blood cell production, which means it can lead to clotting or thrombosis. And the drive behind the study is my grandfather, who suffered from PV and had long-term exposure to environmental hazards. The three hazards that my grandfather encountered and that I researched were environmental toxins, specifically TCDDs and benzene, and then ionizing radiation and smoking. I used peer-reviewed research articles and conducted a case study on my grandfather and found that all hazards were important to his diagnosis. But the most significant type of exposure was his encounter to Agent Orange in the Vietnam War, which contained both TCDD and benzene.
Thank you so much, Max. Michelina.
Hi, my name is Michelina Lombardi, and I'm a student at Averill Park High School. And my epidemiology project was elaborating on the role of diabetes in the development of neurodegenerative diseases. My hypothesis was that diabetes does indeed increase the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases. The prevalence and incidence of diabetes will continue to increase each year. 1 in 10 people are diabetic in the United States. And because of that, I conducted a survey and used peer-reviewed journal articles to assess this issue. Through the research that was conducted, it was found that hyperglycemia, or levels of high blood glucose, exacerbate the body and cause oxidative stress and inflammation, which eventually leads to neurological damage. All diabetics are at a significantly higher risk for developing Alzheimer's disease. And I selected this topic because my father is a type 1 diabetic, and in the future, I have hopes of becoming an endocrinologist. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And you know, I see a trend here. You all selected topics that had a personal interest for all of you, which is great. So what do you like most about this class, and what are your aspirations after high school? Michelina, let's start with you.
What I really enjoy about New Visions is that I'm grouped with other like-minded individuals. Each student in this program has similar goals and an excellent work ethic. And this is much different than my home high school, because there we don't always have the opportunity to be grouped with such hardworking and motivated people. In the fall, I will be attending Lemoyne College, and I will be majoring in biology. While I'm at Lemoyne, I'll be playing women's basketball there. And after college, I have hopes of attending med school. And as I mentioned, I would like to become an endocrinologist.
Well, I'm sure you can achieve that. Good luck. Max, what about you?
I would say my favorite part of this class is getting the college experience while still in high school. The 18 credits that are in this course are really challenging and a lot of work, but this eliminates the worry that we might not be able to handle the workload in college and futuring our academic careers. And then for after high school, I have not yet decided on what school I will attend, but I plan on studying microbiology.
Excellent. Okay, what about you, Hannah?
Yes, so going along with what Max said, I like the fact that we're able to take classes that aren't offered at our home schools. So it gives us a step up for once we go to college to see what the classes will really be like. I plan on studying biology in college with hopes of going to med school. I'm not quite sure where I'll be going yet.
Great. Harley.
Hi. What I most enjoy about New Visions is the curriculum. Ruth makes the information fun to learn, and she also makes sure that everyone understands the material to the fullest extent. And after high school, I will be attending Siena College in the fall, and I will be majoring in social work. I am still deciding on what area of social work I would like to do, but I'm leaning towards maybe an epidemiological area of social work or working in a hospital.
Excellent. Thank you. Lily, what about you?
My favorite part is how practicing professionals in science and healthcare, they come in and talk to us about their research and what they've studied. And we get to ask them questions and really learn about how they made their way. And it's really a great opportunity to connect with people in the real world working in these fields. And we gain insight that we wouldn't normally get from just a traditional senior year in high school. After high school, I'm going to be attending Smith College to study biology, government, and public policy, and I hope to enter the field of public health and policy. Thank you.
Awesome. Ava.
I would say my favorite part about this program is getting to meet new people and collaborate with students from a wide range of schools outside of Averill Park. We are all completing 18 credits together, so we can relate to each other and able to help each other out often. And in the fall, I will be attending SUNY Polytechnic Institute, and I'll be majoring in nursing to eventually become a nurse practitioner. And I will also be playing softball there.
Great. Lauren, what about you?
I've really enjoyed the ability to get a head start in comparison to other peers taking a typical high school curriculum. Not many high school seniors get the opportunity to create their own research, poster, and write a 30-page paper. In the future, I plan on studying either public health or biology and have yet to decide which college I'm going to attend in the fall.
Excellent. Thank you. Josh.
A variety of different professionals we get to meet. We really get to see a wide variety of different career paths and see what we are interested in. And for my future aspirations, I plan to study biomedical engineering, and I'm still undecided on what college I'm going to be attending in the fall.
Wonderful. Well, I wish you all the best of luck in your futures. I know you will have bright futures. Remember my name in case you have to take care of me one day. Gladys Cruz. To end, I want to ask Ruth to please tell us about what you have planned for the rest of the year for these amazing learners.
Thank you so much. Yes, well, we will continue with this very dense curriculum, and it includes hands-on laboratory research. It's a very big component of the program. Reading multiple books, including Darwin's little tome, Our Origin of Species. Continue public health and learn about contemporary biological applications like CRISPR, gene editing, bioinformatics, epigenetics, but I think the most important feature will be the project. They're going to do another project, and it's going to be their second and final research study, and this will be a little bit different. They'll be hopefully working, they have previously worked with professionals in a field related to the project they're looking at. What they'll do is, now that they've done an epidemiological study, they will take an aspect of that, because this actually mirrors the real world, and we see it in spades with the pandemic right now. We see the public health emergency driving research, which then drives public health. So these are two sides of the same coin, and in that vein, the students will take an aspect of their epidemiological study and look at an underlying mechanism. It could be at the molecular level or even at the clinical level. However, sometimes they are done with that topic. They've had more than enough of it, and they might select a new topic, which is just fine, but they have to really like it. So That's the most important thing. At the end of the year, we have 2 events, which I would love to invite everyone to join us. At the end of June, we're going to be having our 5th annual symposium. It is an effort between a group down in Atlanta, Georgia, the Global Thrombosis Forum, and the Albany College of Pharmacy's Pharmaceutical Research Institute, and this New Visions program. And it is called the Bridge Symposium, Beginning Researchers Involved in Discovery Through Guidance and Exploration. And that is at the end of June, but in earlier June, they will be having their poster session of their second study. And that tentatively is scheduled for the 8th, Wednesday, June 8th. Hopefully we can do it in person. Otherwise,
I think so. We may be in person, so that's awesome.
I hope so.
So you have some amazing comments in the chat. Congratulations to every one of you. You're doing some amazing work, and good luck in your future endeavors. I hope that we have that June poster session in person so I can go visit and ask you questions. I love those. I did see your virtual ones this year. I jumped on a few of them. So, and I have attended that Bridge conference and symposium as well. So good job. Anyone have any questions or additional comments for these amazing learners? I think everybody's in awe about everything you do and how much you have learned about these topics. You have taught us a lot today. So thank you. I want to thank Ruth and all of you for joining us today. I always enjoy the opportunity of having our students on our town hall series. It just makes a much better day. So I look forward to hearing about your next project and maybe seeing you there in person in June. Have a great rest of the day and take care of yourselves.